I've been an Android developer for over 15 years. I worked for some of the world's top companies, currently leading a mobile development team, and I've been always able to secure new opportunities with ease, without any problems. I'm gonna compress 15 years of brutal Android development truths into this one video. Brutal truth number 1. Android is here to stay. Throughout all these years, I kept seeing people questioning until when Android development is going to last. And that's a legit question, and I do understand the skepticism. Now, it is okay to diverse, to try out other things and to explore different areas. However, Android is here to stay. It's been 15 years with us, it's one of the most widely spread operating systems, and now with the latest developments, it is also going to support even more. So Android is going to work on desktop, it's going to work on different places, so we are going to be exposed into building different applications for different screen sizes, so the demand is only going to increase. In that sense, the demand for applications is going to increase, and the demand for people is also going to increase to supply that demand for applications. I've seen people lately complaining about the market going down. The reality is that the market is not going down, rather it changes, because there is exponential number of people coming to the industry every year. And so the recruiters and the hiring managers that were reaching out to us so that we would get hired effortlessly, that game has flipped. And now we are the ones that have to reach out to the hiring managers and to the recruiters, and we have to apply the work, we have to put the effort to get hired. And in that sense, the market did change, but the demand for people never went down. So if you're questioning the existence of Android, it is not gonna go anywhere. If you want to diversify, that's fine, that's okay. But if you wanna stick with Android, there won't be any problems for you anyway. Brutal truth number 2. Libraries come and go, fundamentals stay. Throughout all these years of Android development, I've seen many libraries that came and many libraries that are no longer used. However, the fundamentals were always the same and they always stick. So when a library comes out, usually it solves a problem for somebody or for a company. It doesn't mean that it will solve your problem and it will add value to your business. Your job as a professional is to evaluate whether that library is going to add value or not. And ultimately, your job is to use it in a way that it will be easy for you to replace it later when it will no longer be maintained. Brutal truth number 3. Simplicity scales, complexity fails. As a general rule of thumb, stick to simplicity all the time whenever you're writing the code. Throughout all these years, I've seen people going to the complexity only because it feels like the right approach. If something is complex, must be the right way. That's rarely true. When something is overly complicated, chances are there is a simpler way, and your job is to strive to find out how you can simplify. In fact, great engineers are able to break down complex things into simpler things. Now, of course, this is directly related to the problem at hand. There is essential complication when the problem at hand is very complex, and there is accidental complexion, which is a complexion that we are introducing by writing the code. So you should always aim to keep this accidental complication to the minimum. That leads us to the brutal truth number 4. Everybody can make a mess, including yourself. Making mess is part of the development, and we are always making mess whenever we are writing code. I'm sure you've heard about good development practices like separation of concerns, solid principles, test-driven development, pair programming. They are all there to help you keep the code that you're writing maintainable. So it's all about keeping the code we are writing maintainable and easier to work with. So when somebody else comes to the code and wants to contribute, they can easily figure out what's going on and they can actually start becoming productive on that code easily. One of the latest and biggest trends in programming is bringing artificial intelligence into writing the code. And I do understand the fear in people thinking that AI is gonna take their job, which is not really true. AI is only as good as you are. Meaning that if you have no clue what you are doing, AI won't help much. It will only help you create more mess that somebody else will have to clean up after you. So apparently it's still up to you whether you are able to make good decisions, make good judgments, whether whatever AI is suggesting you are going to accept or not, and in what way you are going to change it. So use AI wisely, use it as a tool that can help you or give you a hand whenever you want to automate something, but do not rely on AI too much and be judgmental and see whether the things that it does make sense or not. Brutal truth number 5. People are opinionated. The first thing I always want you to keep in mind is that people matter more than the code or the approaches that you are taking. In that sense, treat people nicely and aim to make good connections rather than enemies. The second thing to keep in mind is that whenever people bring up an argument, usually it comes from their previous experience, And instead of opposing everything they're having to say, try to understand where they're coming from. That will create mutual understanding, and it will bring the collaboration to the next level rather than going the other way around. And the third thing here is that Android developers argue a lot, especially online, and that shouldn't upset you. There are these people that are simply obsessed with winning arguments online. And again, they're coming from their previous experience, and think of it that they are actually having a bad time. And instead of being upset about what they're saying, it's better to be sorry about the situation they are at. Brutal truth number 6. Learn to deal with FOMO, or fear of missing out. Throughout all these years, I've also seen people that are obsessed with FOMO. They want to understand and to see every bits and piece inside everything. Now, that's not necessarily a bad thing. In fact, the more you know, the better. But you don't always need to know everything inside. You don't have to obsess about everything. In fact, the languages are made as an abstraction so that we don't have to deal with internals about how the computer works inside. You can easily use a hash map or a thread without really necessarily knowing everything that is going underneath. Now, of course, the more you know, the better, because you're going to have better understanding, and then you can apply different performance optimizations and so on and so forth. But to be able to use something, you don't necessarily need to know everything inside. So what I'm trying to bring with these examples is that instead of stressing out about everything, try to focus on things that matter the most now and explore those, and only take the things gradually and look into them when you need to. Brutal truth number 7. Take testing seriously. I've seen throughout all these years people saying that they are not testing their code, that they are not allowed to test their code, they're not investing, and so on and so forth. The thing is that you as a professional are supposed to know whether your code works or not. So it's your responsibility to be able to see whether your code works or not. You are paid for that. So you don't need to seek for an approval to test your code. It has to be part of the work anyway. I've seen programmers that are arguing that their time is costing more than a QA engineer, so the testing should be dedicated to QA. So please don't get into that nonsense. Accept the fact that your code is your responsibility and you need to make sure that whatever you write actually works. Brutal truth number 8. Feedback is gold. 1 year working within a team of experienced people is going to teach you way more compared to 5 years working alone. Being within a team of people that are ahead of you is allowing you to get feedback on everything that you are doing. And in that sense, you should seek for feedback on every possible way. Keep asking how you are doing, what are the things that you can improve, and in what way you can improve. The shorter the feedback loop, the better for you, and the faster you are going to grow in your career. Brutal truth number 9. Understand the business that you serve. Now, the business has gotten you and is paying you money only for you to serve it the best you possibly could. And in that sense, you have to help this business grow. So understanding how this business operates and what is the goal of the business is essential, so that you actually aim your actions and everything that you do around helping the business grow. Now, whenever you want to do something, to give some examples like introducing a new library or maybe modularizing, ask yourself, is this going to bring value to the business or not? So if you're doing for the sake of you learning the things, maybe that's not the best idea that you can do. Instead, constantly keep asking yourself what this business is trying to achieve and what are the actions and the steps that you can do to help achieving that goal sooner. And that is something that will help you grow in your career exponentially and way faster compared to others. Brutal truth number 10, get yourself a mentor. Back in the days when I just started my career, I had that struggle of not knowing what to do, which path to take, are the things that I'm doing the correct way, can I do better, and so on and so forth. And that was only until I found somebody who was way ahead of me. And this person was able to give me a hand and guide me. And luckily, I took that opportunity pretty seriously. And by utilizing his mentorship, I was able to scale my career way faster compared to my peers. So if there is one thing that you can do to grow your career as fast as possible, is finding a mentor. And always keep in mind, your career is your responsibility. There is nobody else that will take care of your career as much as you could do. So take the control in your own hands and accept the fact that you are the one that can do the work. So if you do need somebody who can mentor you and help you grow your career, find the link below and see whether you qualify and whether you can get me as your mentor.